It's the month we've all been waiting for. It's November and it is a huge month here at the 52 Book Club. November is always the time when we release next year's reading challenge. So sometime this month, we are going to be dropping our 2026 reading challenge, and it's a good one. I am so excited to show you all of the prompts on next year's challenge. Until that happens, because it can literally happen at any time during this month, I'm going to tide you over though with a November mini reading challenge. So we have that for you today. I'm going to walk you through all the details of our November challenge. Before I do, just a quick reminder that because our 2026 challenge is releasing this month and you want to stay up to date with that, make sure you sign up for emails and follow along with us on all of our socials so that you know as soon as that 2026 challenge hits your inbox. We've already announced 4 different prompts for our 2026 challenge. These are based on polls that we voted on in September, and our top 2 winners were named finalists. We drew 1 finalist from each week and announced those already on our website, here on YouTube, and on Instagram. You can check those out on all of our socials and see what the 4 prompts are that are already appearing on our 2026 challenge. So, what is a mini challenge? If you're new here, mini challenges are smaller, month-long reading challenges that are usually made up of 3 or 4 prompts. This month, for November, we are going to base our mini challenge prompts on the polls that we voted on in September. So in September, we released 4 polls. Each poll had 10 different options. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the options that didn't win, that didn't make it as finalists. We're gonna throw those into a bowl, and for each of the weeks, we're gonna pick 1 more winner. So this gives us an option to explore some of the other prompts that were on those polls that you all voted for and that a lot of you loved, but that didn't make it into the finalists and that didn't make it onto our 2026 challenge. This is also a really great way to explore some of the prompts that maybe weren't as popular and to see how they can still make really amazing prompts and can have some really fantastic 5-star reads to pair with each and every one of those prompts that were on those polls. So before I get to drawing our first prompt on this November mini, I do want to mention one other quick thing about this November mini challenge. Usually mini challenges have 2 or 3 prompts. This month's mini challenge is a little bit bigger and it does have 4 prompts. Now, for some of you, 4 extra books for the month of November is no problem. For some of us, that can seem like a lot, especially if we're still trying to finish up our 2025 reading challenge. So for this November mini, even though there are 4 prompts on the mini, you can choose any 3 that you would like to complete, and that will count as a completed mini challenge for November. Some of you are going to want to complete all 4, and that is amazing. Go for it. I am so proud of you for doing that. I don't think I'm going to complete all 4 this month. But again, it is entirely up to you. As we always say here at the 52 Book Club, it is your challenge, your rules. But specifically for this November mini, feel free to complete either 3 or 4 of the prompts and count that as a completed November mini challenge. So let's pick our first November mini challenge prompt. This one is based on the very first poll that we did in September, and it is for a book related to the word something. We gave you 10 different words. The winning word for our 2026 challenge is related to the word nemesis. So you'll see that on our 2026 reading challenge. But right now I am going to throw the remaining prompts, the words that didn't win and that weren't named finalists, into a bowl, and we are gonna pick one for the November mini challenge. So the words that didn't win in order were serendipity. This was our 3rd place prompt. So I'm gonna put this in our little bowl here. Our 4th place was okay, guys, I chose really hard words. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this. Okay, perspicacious. We're gonna have to look this one up. It's this word, perspicacious. I don't know if I said that right. Our 5th place word was odyssey. 6th was anthophile. 7 was stellar. 8th was a really fun one. It is sesquipedalian. 9th was maleficent. 10th is quixotic. Now these were some really fun words. They have a lot of really cool meanings and a lot of really cool interpretations and ways for you to interpret how to match them to a book. It is a prompt that you're gonna have to get a little bit more creative with. The winning word could be connected to the title, to the theme, to characters, somehow to the author. There's a lot of different interpretations and ways to connect these words to books. But again, it is something that you are going to have to maybe think a little bit outside of the box. And so once we pick our words, feel free to share any ideas in our Facebook group or here in the comments on YouTube or on Instagram, and help generate some ideas for others who may be feeling a little bit stuck with these prompts as well. So with all that being said, let's pick the very first prompt on our November mini challenge. Got my trusty bowl here that I always use, and so here we go. The word is going to be the word that I can't pronounce, guys. It is perspicacious. So this was the number 4 word, 4th place word on our September prompt. And it is going to be prompt number 1 on our November mini challenge. It is going to be related to the word perspicacious. So perspicacious is a really fun word, and I think it's probably going to be easiest to connect this one with a character in a book. Perspicacious is somebody who is very discerning, who has the ability to see through something that is really puzzling. They're a very perceptive character. And so again, I think it's probably going to be character related. You can find a character who has those qualities, whether they're the main character or a secondary character. You can also find a book where this is a reoccurring theme, or that this word occurs in the title, in the subtitle, somehow connected to the author or the cover art, even if you can find a way to make that work. It is up to you. Feel free to get creative with it, and I'm actually really excited to see what you come up with and how you choose to use this word for this November mini challenge. The second poll that we voted on in September was related to the different classifications of the Dewey Decimal System. Now the one that won was the 800s, which is related to literature. That one will appear on our 2026 challenge, but I have the remaining prompts here, and we are going to pick one of them for the November mini challenge. Now, for some of you, nonfiction is a huge stretch, and it might be a lot this month depending on the size of the book or what you're able to take on, even just with other life stuff. Sometimes nonfiction can be heavier and harder to get through, and I totally understand that. So if you are not going to be tackling all 4 prompts on this November mini challenge, this is probably the prompt that I'm assuming a lot of people are going to take a pass on, depending on which of these Dewey Decimal classifications is picked. I will say though that there are a lot of really amazing books out there, and part of this challenge is to push yourself and to try something that you wouldn't normally try. So don't be afraid if this one seems a little bit daunting or a little bit challenging for you. Just give it a try your best. Sometimes we don't finish books, sometimes we have to pick other books, sometimes we choose not to complete prompts at all, and that's okay. The main part of this challenge is to push ourselves to read more, to read differently, but most importantly, to have fun with it. So the Dewey Decimal classifications that didn't make it as finalists, but that we'll be drawing from right now, were the 300s. This was the 3rd place winner. 300s is social sciences. The 500s. This one was our 4th place winner. 500s are for science. 100s were our 5th place winner. This one is for philosophy and psychology. 200s, which is for religion. The 400s, which is for language. 600s, which is classified as technology. And last but not least, the zeros, which I think is probably going to be the hardest one if this one gets picked. And this one is computer sciences and general works. So, the one that is going to appear on our November mini challenge is the 500s, which is science. I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a good one, and I think out of all the options, this is probably one that is going to be a little bit easier. It was 4th place on the polls in September, so it did get a fair number of votes for it, and this is a really great opportunity, like I mentioned before, to try maybe a genre or a book that you wouldn't normally pick up off the shelf. And for others of you, honestly, these may be books that you're reading all the time anyways, and so that's really fun. I'm really excited for those of you, because we don't often have a lot of prompts like this on the challenge that are very intentional and specific for, you know, the 500s and the Dewey Decimal System. So this is another great way for those who love reading these books already, or for those who are new to the genre, to give it a try. Okay, moving on to the 3rd prompt on our November mini. Again, this one was based on the 3rd poll that we voted on in September, and that poll was all about settings. The winning prompt was a book set in a castle, so that one will appear on our 2026 challenge. But the other 8 prompts that we will now be deciding on for our November mini challenge were a book set in a small town, a book set in outer space, a book set on a farm, set in a hotel, set on a boat, set in the desert, set in an office, set in a park. So let's see which one of these is going to appear on our November mini challenge. I will say, as a little hint for those of you who are already looking forward to our December mini bingo reading challenge, which will be happening next month, one of these prompts, if it's picked, kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into my December plans. So that's a hint for December. I'm not going to tell you which one, unless it gets picked, in which case I might tell you, but we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. The one that's going to appear on our November challenge is, a book set in an office. Now, this was the 9th place on the poll, so it was one of the least popular options actually on the September poll. So I am very curious to see what you all come up with. So this will be prompt number 3 on our November mini challenge, a book set in an office. And finally, last but not least, we have prompt number 4. This was based on our 4th poll in September, which actually was a poll that we called From the Vault. We took 10 different prompts from past 52 book club challenges, and we threw them onto the poll, and we had you vote on the one that you would like to see appear again on next year's challenge. So the winning one was one that actually all of our moderators were voting for and were cheering for, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. And that was Includes a Map. So that one will appear on our 2026 challenge, but there were 9 other amazing options that I think actually I had a really hard time picking, because I would love to see all of these ones again on our 2026 challenge or here on our November mini challenge. So we're gonna get a chance one more time to see one of these prompts again, and we're gonna pick it right now. Here we go. All right, so the one that came in 3rd place is by an Indigenous author. This was a prompt on our 2020 challenge, and it was our 3rd place winner. It actually was quite close to our top 2, so it almost made it in, but just not quite. The next prompt was by an author used in an earlier category. Next up was a series that's not finished yet. This one appeared on our summer 2023 challenge. A memoir on someone you admire, a title with the same word twice, an alternate history novel, Sherlock Holmes inspired, a time loop. All right, here we go. Let's see which one of these is going to come out of the vault one final time and make an appearance here on this November mini. And the one that is going to be on our November mini is a series that's not yet finished. So this one again was from our summer 2023 challenge, and so it's going to be appearing one more time here on this November mini, and so that is a series that's not finished yet. It can be any part of the series, the first book in the series, the most recently released book in the series, or anywhere in between. It just has to be a series that hasn't been finished yet and hasn't been announced that it's actually ending yet. So these are the 4 prompts on our November mini challenge. We have first, related to the word perspicacious. We have a book in the 500s of the Dewey Decimal System. We have a book set in an office. And finally, a book from a series that isn't finished yet. I'm so excited for all of the books that you are going to match to these 4 prompts on our November mini challenge. Again, because there are 4 prompts on here, feel free to only pick 3 of them and complete 3 of them. Or if you're feeling ambitious and you have lots of time on your hands this month, feel free to complete all 4. Again, it is entirely up to you, but these are the 4 prompts that we will be working with this November. As always, be sure to share what you are reading for each of these prompts on our socials. You can join the Goodreads group, our Storygraph challenge, follow us on Instagram, and of course our Facebook group, as well as like and subscribe here on YouTube. As I mentioned before, our 2026 challenge is coming out soon. Literally, could be any day now, could be any hour now. Just kidding, it's not gonna be today. There's your last hint on the 2026 challenge. But it will be coming out sometime this month. We don't announce when it's coming out, but we do release it in November so that you have time to plan ahead, to prep, and to start preparing for the official start of our 2026 challenge, which will be on January 1st. So that is all coming later this month at some time. Until then, have a lot of fun with these November mini challenge prompts, and as always, happy reading.